time has come to do a job that all boaters hate and yet all boaters have to do. Yes, I'm talking toilets. Mine is full, so I've got to empty it. So I thought I'd show you how I do that. This is my toilet. Not a pretty sight, but everyone's got one. Everyone has to use one. That little red light on top there, that's telling me that it's full. My toilet is actually a cassette toilet, and I'm about to show you what that looks like. I'm kneeling down beside my bed because the cassette for my toilet I have to access from under my bed. Let me just turn the camera around and show you what that looks like. Right, I've opened the flap and that is the cassette that's under my toilet. That one is full and I have a spare one just there as well, and that one happens to be full as well. So I've got to empty at least one of them, which I'm going to do right now. So let me just drag this one out, try and do it with one hand. As you can see, it's on wheels. I will say I have learnt to my cost that you need to keep this as level as you can to prevent leakages. Now, to help me transport my cassette toilet, I've got this little contraption. This is a collapsible trolley, because where I'm going to empty my toilet, it's about 100 yards away, so rather than carry it all that way, I'm going to put it in my trolley. Alright, just get my trolley out and set it all up. Simple as that. Step very carefully so I don't fall in. You're putting it in there. It has got wheels which I can pull along, but so much easier in the trolley. Beautiful, bright, sunny day. Alright, just making my way over to the L-sand point. Just over there to the right. Thankfully this one's in the open air, which is perhaps the most pleasant one I've seen. So they tend to be enclosed so that you get all the delicious smells and so on. So all I have to do is open that up, and as you can see, it's just like a giant toilet, and all I have to do is to open up and empty my pot. Rest assured, I'm not going to be showing you that bit. As you can see, I've got my cassette ready. All I have to do is take this cap off here, tip it up and pour it down. There's also a little orange button there which I push, and that just lets air in so that it all comes out fairly straightforwardly. I don't think you'd want me to show you all the horrible bits. I will show you me cleaning it, which is etiquette, I suppose. So basically what we're doing is just to clean it like you would your own toilet. So that's all done. Close up, ready for the next person to use. And now make my way back to the boat. It's just beautiful across the marina today. Blue skies always make a big difference. Alright, next job to do is to put some Elsand Blue. It's like a deodorant disinfectant product. It goes inside the cassette along with some water. And I need to put 75 ml per 10 litre of the tank. I haven't got much left of this. I've only got enough for one. Okay, so now some water. I've only got a jug because it won't fit under my taps, so I need to fill up 4 of these. Of course, the idea of putting water in there is so that it helps to cover up the sort of things that you put down the toilet. Then lock it off, and now I'm going to take this and put it underneath my toilet so that I can use it again. Right, so now I'm about to try and take out the cassette from under here. It's very awkward. I'll lift it a fraction and then just drag it out. There you go. That easy. Now to put one back in. Right, so I now take the one that I've just emptied and also put the Elsand Blue in. There are guides for it to go in so that obviously it gets in the right place. There you go. That looks about right to me. So that's now ready to use. It's only a job that takes 10 to 15 minutes or so, but it's still not the most pleasant job in the world. I'm just going to, and the red light has gone out because obviously I've got a new one now. So it's as easy as that. An unpleasant job that's got to be done, but well worth doing. If you watched last week's video, you will have seen that I tidied up the front of my boat, the bow, and made it into my garden. I mentioned that I was going to look at doing a hydroponic setup. I brought the one I had at home with me. Unfortunately, it is broken, but I can still do a lot of what I wanted to do. I'll show you what the issue is in a moment. I'm going to be cleaning it up and planting some more herbs as it happens, because that's the seeds that I've got. I think just before we get started on the hydroponic system, I just want to show you my garden. It's still thriving, doing well. Just moved it over a little bit so that I can work on this, give it a bit of space in the bow. And just around here I've just moved my avocado plant. The strawberry plant is still alive. The little one I put in there still got green on it, so I'm hoping that will still pick up and survive. And just behind me here, I covered it with some cling film just to keep the moisture in. Nothing's come up just yet. It's only been in there about 6-7 days, so I'm not expecting anything for another week or two. And now for my hydroponic system. This is it. As I said, it is broken. These are the lights. It gives you like a daylight quality of light once it's up and running. It's a bit dusty and messy.
and that's a stand that sits in there which holds the lights above the plants as they grow. As you can see, it's a bit mucky. That is one of the broken bits. I'll show you where that goes in a moment. These holes each hold a plant, or potentially. I've got this product here which is, as you can see from the picture, it's like a rooting plant cube for cuttings and seedlings, ideal for hydroponic systems. It's not real soil, it's like a spongy product. As I said, I've got some more herbs. They're in this box here. These are the pots that go into these holes, and inside that bit there is where you put that spongy material that I showed you just a few seconds ago. I'm not going to do all 12 of these sections because I did that last time and it just went wild, as I mentioned last week. So what I'm going to do is just do 6 of them, sort of spaced out, and these here cover up the holes that you don't use. The mains plugs into the mains. This little thing here, I'm hoping it still works. This is the pump. Moves the nutrients around the plant roots. This is like a, once you've got your basket in there, you put that over the top and that acts like a little mini greenhouse as the seed grows. And then once it's a reasonable size, half an inch or so, that comes off and then it grows as normal. Now, as I said, it is broken. I'll just show you where it is. I'm going to need some super glue, I think, at least, or some other way, maybe a bracket to hold this on. This is a plastic bit I managed to break off, and it actually sits just there. The reason it does that, so this post would sit there, and then the whole thing is supposed to slot in that space there, so you can see the lights will be suspended above the plants as they grow. But I can't do that just yet because I managed to break this thing here. Right, as I can't fix that now, all I'm going to do is to clean it up, test that the pump works still. I'm just going to clean it with plain water. Let's empty it first. I'll just take that off. It's more dusty than anything else, but no harm in making it look nice. I'm doing this out here so that I can spill some of this water as I clean this. Okay. A little bit of water in here. There, you can hear that, the water's just draining out into the canal. Now, as for this, I'm not going to give this a huge amount of cleaning. I'm going to wipe it to get the worst of the dust out. I don't need to worry about getting this pump wet because it's designed to be wet, isn't it? Of course, it's a water pump. As I said, I'm just getting the worst of the dust off. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is to test the pump. So I need to get some water. Alright, one thing I didn't do before I get the water, is to clean the pump itself. And looking at that, ooh, okay, yeah, I think that needs cleaning. This is old root. Oh, that's all blocked up. I think I need to get this lid off so that I can get underneath and clear out anything that's gone inside. Ah, there you go. Oh yes, bit of a mess. That's old root that's got in there. The plug of root in there which I'm trying to get out. Looks like I might have to take these screws out. Well, I hadn't planned on stripping the pump down, but if it's going to make it work, I'll do that. Thankfully it's only 2 screws. Tiny screwdriver just to work it loose. That's not too bad in there. There's a little rotor in there, that's called the impeller. That's usually just a magnet, or magnetized I should say, to stick in there. So I'm just going to try and lift that out. Oh, there you go. Just checking to make sure there's nothing there that's going to stop it. A little bit of root, and they'll stay back in there. That's a good. Get it the right way round. Yeah, because you want the water going out there, so that's all good. Then put the screws back in. Oh, wrong screwdriver. Okay, that's the pump back together. Now I've just got to clean in there and then be ready to test it. Oh, I've got to put this back on first. I remember which way round it goes now. Does it matter? That's the right way. It just clips on nicely. That should still work. Before I put the pump back in to that position there, I'm just going to test it in a cup of water. It's likely to make quite a mess if it works. So I'm just going to dunk it in there. Now this gets plugged into my socket, into that position there. Oh, well, that was bright. Wasn't expecting that. Right, turn the power off, and the pump gets put into that position there. Bear in mind there'd be a post here and it'd be sitting that way up there, and I don't know if you can see that, churning away. The pump actually works perfect, and as you saw, the lights work as well. There is a fan in the top there. You might be able to hear that fan's going, and depending on what you're going to grow, it changes the lighting for vegetables, flowers, fruit. Right, so let's turn that off. Wire just goes in there so that the lid can sit on there nicely. There's a little hole there. That's where you pour water in once you've got plants and so on in there. I'm just going to put 6 in. So as you can see, they are individual. So I'll just take one out for now. Just wait for that plane to disappear a little bit. I don't know if you can see that close up. It's the spongy appearance. There's a little hole in the top. That's where your seed goes. So I need to put this inside the basket. There you go, a bit like that. So obviously it needs to be damp when you put some seeds in. In a bit. It's a bit. Yeah. Have to fill them up and some salt. You need some yeast. Those bags or downright. Yeah, that's all 6 in place. All I need to do now is decide which seeds I want. Right, that's where I'm going to be putting the various herbs, and to remind myself I'm going to actually take a photograph of it so that I know what I've got and where it is, not like last week. Okay, I'll start with the basil. Now from experience I only need to put in 1 or 2 seeds because it does grow extremely well in hydroponics. So you can see the seeds. I'm actually going to put 3 in. Why not? This one is sage. There you go. And this one is coriander. There you go, coriander seeds. And this one is dill. If you can see that, that's the dill seeds. And so that's all the individual baskets have got seeds in now. So all I'm going to do is to fill it up with water. I'm going to add a little bit on top of each one of these just to help with soaking. I'm going to get the watering can for that. Now I'm going to take it lightly and put these down just as so my root needs waiting for it honey. And that's almost the job done. So as I said, tidy up, take it indoors. I won't set the light up yet until I've fixed that post, because it won't need lights for a week or 2. So hopefully I'll fix that next week and show that to you. Today I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate triple cooked chunky chips. And we start with the ingredients. Potatoes. Well, in this case it's actually Maris Piper potatoes I'm using, but any potato that will give you a nice fluffy inside, like when they say for roast potatoes, it will say on the packet what they can be used for. So I actually started this last night, about 24 hours ago, and I peeled them, chopped them up into chunky chips, placed them in the bowl, filled it with water, or covered it with water, and I put a tablespoon of salt in there and let that dissolve. It's really important that you do that, because it not only does it impart the flavour into the chips of the salt. Right, so I've just put them on to start warming up the water, getting it to a boil. If I can just show you, by putting them in salt water, not only does it take some of the starch out, but as you can see the potatoes have gone quite nice and soft. But that will certainly firm up once they start being fried. So you can see it's just about starting to boil, so I'm going to start my timer now for 4 minutes. So you don't want any more than that, otherwise the potato just starts falling apart, like it's going to be turned into mash or something like that, which you don't want. Everything's steamed up. Okay, we need to let them dry out a little bit. By that I mean let them steam and that'll take some of the water off the surface as well. Just while the chips are steaming, I've put on a pan of oil and only fill it up no more than halfway. If you've got a deep fat fryer, that's great, so it makes it setting the temperature easily, much easier. Temperature needs to be 140 degrees centigrade. So I've got a temperature probe because I'm doing it on the stove. The temperature probe is in the oil, the heat is on. I've got this nice thermometer. You can set the temperature out there, 140 degrees. It's currently 67. Once it gets up to about 100, I'm going to be turning it down just a little bit so it doesn't shoot past 140. So the temperature's just about coming up to the 140 that I'm looking for. Just between 138 and 139 at the moment. But I just wanted to talk to you about, what if you haven't got a thermometer? You might be asking yourself, well, if we take, it's close enough, so there you go, just hit the temperature. So what do? It's hit 140 now, so you get yourself a little bit of bread. I'll just drop that in. You can see it's just starting to bubble a little bit, but it's not going brown. That's the crucial thing. You need to be very careful adjusting the flame under the oil so it's low enough so it doesn't go up too quickly. I'm going to take that out and I'm going to put the first portion of chips in. I'm going to leave the probe in just so we keep an eye on it. The temperature of the oil will drop as soon as we put some chips in there. I'm only going to be putting in half of this, so it's one portion. This is enough for 2 people, depending how hungry you are, of course. So I'm just going to very gently drop them in, and we put that on for 8 minutes. Okay, that's had its 8 minutes, so I'm going to take these out. Take my probe out of the way first. As you can see, they're fairly pale, which is what we want. I'm just going to drain them on some kitchen towel. Then we get our other chips. This time I'm going to be sensible. Put it in the wire basket. Just gently drop that in. And we know the temperature's alright because we've set it earlier. However, I will still put my probe back in. And that's got another 8 minutes to go there. Right, so that's the second batch. It's had its 8 minutes. Main reason you don't overcrowd the pan so it doesn't bring the temperature down too quickly. Right, so put that back in there. Now we need to get the temperature back up to 180 degrees, so just going to turn the heat up there a little bit. Right, temperature has now hit 180, so for the third cook I'm going to put all the chips in this time. Right, as you can see, they're looking nicely golden brown. I'm actually going to take them out now. They do look perfect. They even sound crunchy. And there we have it, 3 cook chunky chips. Let me just show you how crispy and crunchy they are. Nice. Just look how soft that is inside. I'll just use a, you can see I can take it out. That's how soft it is. A bit like mashed potato inside. Yummy. And you can taste that it's been soaked in salt. So what I suggest you do now, if you think it needs any more salt, then by all means put it on. But I'm also going to put a little bit of pepper on and have it with some fish that I bought from the supermarket. Enjoy.